Hello Internet, this is Benatori, here to talk to you about the Fine Brothers React World fiasco. Now, this entire issue is an incredibly complicated one, so instead of trying to explain everything here, I will just provide links to other videos that have done a good job of explaining the problem already. But for a very Cliff Notes version of the story, here's what happened. The Fine Bros tried to launch a licensing campaign. The internet uncovered some shady information, including trademark attempts and questionable content ID claims. Their update video took what little benefit of the doubt was left and shattered it by being insincere as hell. And then they apologized via a link in a tweet. And then they removed all videos on their channel relevant to the issue at hand. So, I'm sure most people watching this video are already aware that this was an unprecedented event in YouTube history. I mean, I've never seen a YouTuber this big get nearly the level of flame and hate that the Fine Brothers have, especially over the course of hardly a week. Why was this so huge? This is not the first time we have run into YouTubers being assholes, and this is certainly not the first time we've seen companies being assholes. But for whatever reason, the whole event managed to break out of YouTube, onto Reddit, and even onto some actual news periodicals. Now keep in mind, the Google Plus BS from 2013 did not manage to get that kind of attention. Sure, SOPA got attention, but then again, there were websites like Wikipedia and Google actively protesting it. The YouTube copyright blitz didn't get nearly this kind of attention. And yet this whole Fine Brothers thing managed to grab the entire internet, without a big company pushing it into the spotlight. Hey, maybe it was just the fact that it was dealing with trademarks? Well, this isn't the first time that's happened either. Remember the time Sony tried to trademark Let's Play? Or the time King, the creators of Candy Crush, tried to trademark the word candy? My point is that none of these issues are new. So, why the Fine Brothers? Well, for one thing, it's timing. Anyone who's been on YouTube since 2009 or earlier can tell you that YouTube has had a lot of problems. We've had features of the site taken away from us, we've seen the site get invaded by Vivo and other old media icons, we've seen the entire culture change thanks to the monetization and company buyouts, we've been kicked around by the broken copyright system, and we've had to deal with a virtually non-existent YouTube support system. But even when big names speak out that something is clearly wrong with YouTube, nobody seems to listen.
There's thousands of Barack Obama. He's posting swastikas and penises. Please, 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 make it stop.
So what does that have to do with the Fine Bros? Well, the Fine Brothers React World just so happened to unintentionally bring attention to 5 big issues. Issue 1. Networks, and what exactly React World was. You know how the Fine Bros were talking about licensing? The idea that you can get in on the success of a bigger YouTube name, and all you have to do is share some of your profits? Well, hey, that sounds familiar. Where else have we heard big groups offering to help you get success and attention in return for money? Well, the first thing I thought of was a multi-channel network. It's pretty much the same thing. You pay the network some of your money, and then they help promote you and help you through the YouTube support system. Now, to be fair, I've never actually been signed to a network, so I don't know if that's all they do, but that's the way it sounded to me when somebody tried to explain it. But, assuming I'm correct, why would you even bother? In the words of Merlin the Wizard Fish,
Well, can't I just make reaction videos on my own and keep all of the money? Yes, you can!
well, if that's the case, why even sign on to a network at all? Well, sadly, the answer is because a lot of YouTubers need it. Extra promotion sounds pretty nice when you have to compete with fucking Jimmy Kimmel, goddamn Jimmy Fallon, whatever sports clips are big, movie trailers, PewDiePie, Vivo. Those are some big names to compete with. And keep in mind just how many of those names are actually YouTubers? Extra promotion sounds pretty nice when you have to compete with names like that. And then the help through the YouTube support system. The YouTube support system does not work. The copyright system is broken, half the time it's flat out automated, talking to a human to discuss fair use or misidentification is flat out impossible. Unless you're an insider, there is no way to fix this. Same with flagging. Some asshole flags your video for no good reason? Good luck telling YouTube that.
Can't I just make reaction videos on my own and keep all of the money? Yes, you can!
But it's really hard! In order to get anyone to listen to you, you need a goddamn network. And from what I've heard, sometimes even the networks can't do shit. The worst part is this doesn't speak to the effectiveness of the networks. It speaks to the complete ineffectiveness of the goddamn support system. Your support system is so bad that you have to pay someone to circumvent it for you? That is dumb! But notice how when the Fine Brothers did this, the reaction was scathing. When Maker or Fullscreen did it, most people were completely fine. Well, I think networks can get away with it because they offered to try and fix real problems. The non-existent YouTube support system, that's a real problem. The fact that you have to compete with big names that you shouldn't have to compete with, that's a real problem. And if you want help with that, to some people, that's completely understandable. Meanwhile, the Fine Bros weren't offering to fix anything. They were just offering to give you their format, a term that they were very vague about. So the networks offer to help you with a broken system. The Fine Bros decide to insult you by making you feel dumb, and again, without actually offering to fix anything.
So, if you're interested in creating your own version of any of our React formats, which if you don't, then what is wrong with you?
Good lord, watching the React World announcement actually felt a bit like a parody to me. A parody of what a greedy 80-year-old CEO would think a network is. Issue 2. The trademark and copyright system is broken. Thanks for reminding us. I've been on YouTube for a long time, but in terms of being a content creator, I'm about as new as they come. As of me writing this video, I have 4,000 views and 22 subscribers. One of the series that I wanted to make to get started on YouTube was Anime Top 10s, and I thought I could add a cool spin to it. I'm actually an animator, so I thought it would be cool to have an animator talking about anime. And back in 2007, I really liked watching anime countdowns. Since that community is dead, I thought, hey, maybe this would be a cool way to, reinvigorate it and bring it back to life. So I upload my first video. 6 claims. And 1 view. A view that I gave it when I was checking to make sure the upload didn't glitch. What the hell? Second video. 9 claims. 2 views. Each of which averaged a second each. Did the rest of the community have to deal with this? No wonder the Anime Countdown community is dead. This is one of the most demotivating things you could do to a new creator. And I know I'm not alone on this. I've seen countless stories of YouTubers getting claims for lots of stupid reasons. Nobody on YouTube likes copyright. This is pretty self-explanatory. The second you bring something like that up, no matter what the context is, you're going to get a knee-jerk reaction. Issue 3. Fine, bros, I thought you were the good guys. Maybe this is just the side of the internet I hang out on, but the internet has become a fairly anti-corporate place. People who rise to internet fame from nothing are always the heroes of their respective stories. The YouTubers who started out as kids playing with webcams are always looked upon more fondly than the channels started by big companies. The Fine Bros paid their dues. They started from nothing and worked their way up to becoming something. They were considered one of the quintessential YouTube success stories. They were one of the good guys. So to see them make such a sharp U-turn from one of the most welcome faces on YouTube into money-grubbing businessmen was a shock. I know that must have hurt a lot of people, especially the people who watched them grow through the ranks like we did. Issue 4. You know where you are? You're on the internet, baby! You're gonna die! Okay, you're not gonna die, but the point still stands. You're on the internet. And I don't think the Fine Bros appreciated what that implies. It's no secret that the Fine Bros were, and currently, are very interested in breaking into traditional media. Stuff like movies and TV shows, and that's fine. Annoying Orange did it, and everyone was fine with that. Fred did it, and nobody got upset about that. Heck, Rooster Teeth has and are currently doing that right now. And if anything, people are excited. So why is it okay for all of them, but not okay for the Fine Brothers? It's because the other channels did it in the right setting. Annoying Orange didn't try to turn his channel into a TV series. He took it to Nickelodeon and did it over there. Same with Fred. He didn't try to turn his channel into a movie store. He went to Nickelodeon and did it over there. With Rooster Teeth, Ruby was already a good length for TV, so all they had to do was license it out, and it ended up on Singapore TV and Crunchyroll. There wasn't much that had to be done, and Laser Team is being released in theaters. Rooster Teeth is smart about how they format their products. They make it easy to adapt to TV and theaters. They just have to license it, and movie and TV areas are fine with licensing. Licensing is a part of the movie and TV territory. Licensing does not come with the internet territory. The internet is a place for the small voice, a place for people to tribute, experiment, borrow, play around. These are things that are all considered positive on the internet. And if you take it too far, or if your tribute or experiment turns into stealing, the people will let you know through a trial of fire. That's the way the internet is, and that's the way the internet likes it. By trying to apply these old media terms to the internet, it doesn't look like it's a revolution. It looks like a gross misunderstanding of what the internet is, and why people came to the internet in the first place. If you want to get into old media, fine, that's great, nobody's gonna stop you. But when you try to force those old media methods onto the internet, it just makes you look like you're trying to control it. And control is an issue the internet has had to deal with way too many times already. Issue 5. The apology, closure, and the human side of the internet. Apologies are incredibly powerful things. Because we're human. Humans have feelings. Humans like being validated. And an apology is the act of validating somebody's feelings. Being validated feels good, especially if you were feeling really shitty before. The internet may not seem like it has feelings, but it does. The internet may be one of the most potty-mouth, not safe for work places in the world, but that's all the proof in the world of how emotional the internet is. Swearing your mouth off is a form of expression. Throwing insults at people for no real reason is a way of voicing frustration or a need for attention. These are all very human things to do. And it's not just negative emotions. There are a lot of positive emotions on the internet too. The internet is human. And just like any other human out there, the internet wanted an apology. They wanted validation for the betrayal they felt. They wanted validation for the blatant misunderstanding of what YouTube and the internet in general stands for. And how did the Fine Brothers apologize? Through a clearly damage control-oriented text page, on a website that virtually nobody had heard of, on a Twitter page that only a fraction of their fans followed. And even reading the apology, it sounds like something written by a PR executive. And to top all that off, both the announcement video and the update video about the issue were erased. This is not owning up to your mistake. It looked like they were trying to appease us, not validate us, not apologize to us. I personally don't believe any of the legitimate hate centered towards the Fine Brothers is even about React World anymore. I believe that the Fine Brothers have turned into kind of a symbol for everything that's wrong with YouTube right now. The sheer number of issues with YouTube and its treatment of its creators as professionals, the complete brokenness and unfairness of the copyrights online, the betrayal, the complete lack of understanding of what the internet represents, and the complete obliviousness to the human side of the internet. All of this has been perfectly encapsulated by the Fine Brothers. They are the first internet scandal that has successfully captured every single problem with YouTube as of now. There have been scandals that have captured pieces of it, but never one that captured all of it. Some people are still actively flaming the Fine Brothers. Some are hoping that maybe they can move on. I personally don't think they're going to be able to move on. The like bar on their latest video seems like proof to me. Plus, their insincere apology closed off whatever opportunity they had for closure. Anything now would be too little too late. That said, they did do what they set out to do in their React World video. They said they wanted to become a part of history. They went from being shallow, albeit popular entertainment, into what I believe will be marked as one of the biggest scandals of YouTube history. A scandal that I hope will help YouTube change for the better. And then they apologized via a link on Tweet.